Hello, hello. It's Mark Attwood here, the Mark Attwood Show Adventures in a Cosmic Suit. I must have said that about 4,000 times now. Does it get boring? Well, the only reason I said, just in case you're going, yeah, it does actually, Mark. The reason I say it is because somebody might come to this who's never seen me before. Lucky bastards, shut up. And the whole point is that they know where they are and who I am. Who am I? I don't know. According to some people on Facebook yesterday, I'm a fascist, which is hilarious because today is the 1st of February. And I've just spent a couple of hours going through the Epstein files. I recommend everybody has a go. It's quite fun. But I understand if you don't want to, because it's dark stuff. I mean, the video I did yesterday, somebody said to me, you seemed a bit down. And it's weird, isn't it? It's like a massive weight has come off because for me, decades have gone of knowing the truth about who has been running the world and what they do. And it's like, you still got to make up, have your bacon and eggs and your coffee, and you take the kids to school and do all that normal stuff, knowing you're surrounded by these people. But yeah, it's a big day for the world, actually. And it's a big time for healing. I know I've talked about healing a lot. I even opened a healing centre up with Gary Keeley in the west of Ireland, which is why apparently I'm a fascist, because I'm healing people. Isn't that interesting? But there's lots of different types of healing. And I was discussing with a friend this morning who got jibby jabbed, and I gave him a list of things. And I said, look, I said, I'd love to just give you these. I'd love to just give you a box and say, take those. I said, but the problem with me doing that, and I've learned this the hard way, is that he's not taking any responsibility for himself. And that's exactly how we got into this shit in the first place, because we abrogated responsibility of our own health, wealth, happiness, and everything to a system that does not serve us. And that's what the big test was 5 years ago. It was, do you trust in God or don't you? I know I use the word God. A lot of people prefer different words. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean when I say God. Creator, source, the universe. I don't mind what you call it. And that was the big question. It was a spiritual question. It's the same with healing. You have to take responsibility for yourself. And that involves educating yourself about, if I gave the big box of supplements to my friend and even if I explained to him what each one of them did, and I have done this many times, he's still not doing the work himself. I said, there's just no other way around it. You have to go and research this and this and this and this and this. I'm telling you what to research and understand internally why that is a good thing for you to do. And if you decide it's not a good thing, don't do it. But it is extraordinary how many people approach everything in a very kind of mechanical way. So we're all used to the body being described to us in biology at school like it's a machine. And it is a machine. It's an amazing machine, but there's much more to it than just the mechanics. Like the same with a car. I refer to my cars as she. That's a bit sexist. No, it's not. It's just the way I'm affectionate about my cars. And I believe that everything has a consciousness. So all of those pieces of metal and plastic and rubber come together in a beautiful orchestra to create something more than the pieces that are in the car. Moreover, more than that, I take an interest in who created that car, how it first came to light. And this is what, I'm sorry to go on about cars. A lot of you know, if I had my time again, I would run a car channel on YouTube and not a channel like this. But, I got an old Jaguar, for example. Now, I know this is like the 4th iteration of that model, but I know that the founder of Jaguar, William Lyons, drew the original one with a pencil. And you can see it. It's still there in the DNA. And I believe that car has a consciousness. Currently, it's a pissed off one because it's in the garage, as usual. But the point is that we have to approach our own healing with more than just a mechanical mind. We need to understand that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Therefore, we have to approach ourselves holistically. In fact, I got a book, it's not here in front of me, and I'm going to do some live shows with this book. I can't even remember what it's called. I do apologize. It's in the kitchen, but it's not important to this video. But my friend has a problem in his shoulder, and he's been into the healing center and got immediate relief for a few days. And I said, well, you need to come in more often to work on that. But what's the real reason you have this problem in your shoulder? And I opened the page of this book and I read it out, and he was almost in tears because I was describing his life, because he was feeling the burden of the world. He's responsible for tons of people, his family and extended family, and he's carrying the weight. He's one of those, he's a bit like me. He's one of those, I had a laugh with him. I said, you've got to learn to delegate. Delegation is like quite a tough thing for men in particular to do. Well, I'm not saying men in particular. I mean, I speak as a man, so I know this from experience. Me in particular, it's quite difficult to delegate, because what happens is you give a job to somebody to do within your vast array of jobs that you do as a human being, and then you watch them do it and you realize, well, you're not doing it as well as me. Come here, let me do it, because you can do it quicker. But delegation is like critical. And sometimes you do need help. You do need help spiritually. You need help with information. I mean, this show is called Adventures in a Cosmic Suit because I'm learning, like you are, as we go along, and I'm sharing. I get it wrong. I mean, on the video yesterday about the Epstein files, I got Alison Mack mixed up with Rachel Chandler. I apologize for that. I was making the video off the cuff, as I usually do. There's never a script, so I don't have a script. I didn't even know what I was going to say at the start of this show. But it comes to you if you trust it. And sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes but you see, some of these details aren't that important when you're talking about a bigger picture. And throughout the last 5 years of this podcast, I've tried to bring to you as much information as I can, of either by interviewing experts in something. I learned, for example, from Ian Clark, that you should never drink water without salt. Now, when he first told me that, I was like, what? Surely salt dehydrates you. It's the other way around. Drinking water without salt dehydrates you. I didn't know that, but I do now. And it's changed my life, and it's changed the life of lots of people that have watched this podcast. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. But other times I bring in, products that I've used myself. It took me 6 months, I think, of using this product before I started talking about it. There's a link in the description if you're interested in that. I've got one on now. But also healers. I've had a lot of interesting healers on. And thanks to one of my subscribers, now friend, Selena Donovan down in Galway, who was one of the first people I met after lockdowns, actually. She contacted me. We arranged a lunch, actually, in Galway. I think I bought lunch, cost me about 2,000 quid, because I was so pleased to see other people after being locked down for so long. I said, lunch is on me. Oh, Jesus, look at the size of the bill. But, who cares? It's fun, right? And that was fun. And she's been a great friend and a great supporter. And she's even started her own podcast, which I'll link to below this video. And she comes at it. She's got a very specific angle on everything. Anyway, she interviewed an amazing woman called Elaine Molloy. And she said, Mark, you need to speak to Elaine. And so I've spoken to Elaine, and I've had a healing session with her. And she's here now, probably wondering why I'm taking so long to get her on. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
That was an 8-minute introduction. Jeez.
It was worth it.
I don't even remember what I said.
I do.
Well, Elaine, you are from Galway, right?
Right.
Currently in America.
Yeah. In Florida.
Florida. I didn't want to tell everybody that, but you did, so that's all right. You're just making me jealous, because I used to live there as well. I used to live in Sarasota for a little bit.
Yes.
It's a beautiful place, isn't it?
It's a beautiful place. It's actually freezing here this morning.
Well, I'm so pleased to hear that, because it's sunny here. So you left Ireland. That's karma.
Yes. Payback.
So tell us your story, Elaine.
All right, then. I was born in Galway and was raised in a family of 5 kids. Father was managing director of Heinz's Business Providers, and he was also He was also an activist, so he was on every committee. He was, in the Chamber of Commerce. He was on the Harbour Board Commission. He set up Corinthians Football Club. He was a doer. He liked to get things set up and he liked to help people. So he was a major influence in my life. My mother, we called her the quack. My mother was actually raised by her grandmother, who was the village herbalist. Um, and that was the influence on her. So my mother always did things alternatively. She was way ahead of her time. And she raised us holistically. Our diet, like she wouldn't allow white bread in the house. We often had beans and lentils for dinner when nobody was eating them in the 1970s. We were brought to acupuncturists. She was pretty cool. She was always reading and learning. And those were my influences. Went to school in Barna, learned to speak languages, learned everything through Irish, became fascinated with French. My parents brought us everywhere. So they took us to Spain, they took us to France multiple times. So I learned languages and I thought that's who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So I went into international business, but I kind of got bored. I thought, oh, international business sounds amazing. That's who I want to be. That's what I'll do. But I kept kind of getting stuck in the same old administrative type jobs. So I started to search, and I was unfulfilled. So I actually came across a book, and you and I had a quick chat about this earlier, Mark, by Deepak Chopra. And this book was about it was about your life's purpose. And he basically, it was kind of a long-winded book, and it took me a while to figure out what he was saying, but he was asking, like, what do you love to do and how can you serve? So what you love to do really should be your life's purpose. And how can you serve? How can you serve God and others? So that he was my earliest influence. I read that book, and then I also was developing health issues, probably because I was frustrated. I'm a firm believer that there are emotions behind every illness. And so I was frustrated, I was bored, didn't really know who I was, why I was here. And I found another book by Deepak, which was called Perfect Health, which is about Ayurveda. And Ayurveda really spoke to me. It's, based on the five element theory. It's much like Chinese medicine. And it just really spoke to me, and it opened up a whole new world for me of energy medicine. And that's what I became fascinated in. And that's what I started to lean into, energy medicine, understanding the mind body connection, understanding how the body works, how the mind influences the body. And really, I just started to open up to more and more. I became a massage therapist. I studied colon therapy, which taught me a lot. And I also became an energy medicine therapist. And the more I worked on people, the more that was given to me. So I started to like see through the dimensions. It's a little bit hard to explain, but for example, if I was doing Reiki on somebody, I would start to see their deceased loved ones, and they would start to speak to me and give me messages. And so that led me then into being able to channel, become a medium, and to pass messages on from spirit, which is where I am today.
Hmm. I'm trying to press the button and it's not working.
Okay.
There it is. What is it? There's a few things to unpack there. I don't know where to start because I don't want to start on a negative note.
Right.
Not that there's anything negative about what you've said. It's just some of the things I've got little nitpicks I can make about, because I've had a similar journey.
Mm-hmm.
Trained in Reiki, used to do Deepak Chopra's meditations. Now I've got a healing. I'm not like you, but I've got a healing center. I see dead people. I hear, it's a really interesting journey. So you weren't psychic as a child, but it developed.
I wasn't psychic as a child. I was probably the quietest in the family because they were all talkers. So I'd say I became a little withdrawn because you
I can
couldn't get a
imagine.
word in edgeways. Yeah.
I
So I
suddenly
think
got. I
that
can
was
see
my
you all. I can see you all in the kitchen with you sat there listening. All.
yeah, jabbering on. And I think that was my training ground. So I became the observer because there was nothing else you could do. I became an avid reader. Lived in a world of imagination, I would say, a lot of Enid Blyton influence. But I did have a major experience when I was 12. So I had made my, we were raised Catholic like most Irish people. I'd made my confirmation, and I was in a tent in my backyard in with my good friend Anya. We thought we were all big and brave. We were 12 now, and we thought we could stay the night in the tent. And just as we were about to fall asleep, we started to hear these donkeys braying, and they were deafening. And at the same time, we started to hear guys coming home from a disco, and they were shouting and roaring, and they seemed very close by. And she started to panic, thinking that they were, coming for us, seeking us out. And I was like, no, wait a minute. And this massive, how I say, presence came into the tent, this massive light. And I immediately felt extremely calmed by this presence. And the presence spoke through me and said, no, 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 it's just donkeys. They're just like over in the field. And it's just guys coming home from a disco, and they don't even know where we are. You're fine. And she calmed right down. And then the presence left. And so that was my first almost awakening, I guess, that there was something beyond me, something bigger than me. And
You were psychic as a child.
yeah, I guess I was. I guess I was.
But then what happened? Education, you see. And then
Totally.
that's how it happens to a lot of us, especially, I was like, I left all that behind. It's childish stuff. I don't need to think about that anymore because I'm going to go and join the military and I'm going to go and do this. And you strive
Yeah.
forward, and that stuff just sort of gets put behind you a little bit, especially when the hormones
Yes.
start coming in and all those other interesting things starting to happen.
Yes.
But then it comes back at you with a clap. Well, it did with me anyway.
Yeah, it comes back sometimes when you're maybe feeling a bit empty, but I think we're kept so busy.
Yeah,
School is nonstop. What is it, 7 hours a day? And then hours of studying for junior cert, leaving cert, repetitive information, rote learning, and outside activities. You're just kept so busy that you can't focus on anything else except for the here and now, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah, so then it was a long time, Mark. After that, I had no other spiritual experiences. I was just living my life, ordinary person, going through those job hopping out of frustration. And then I had a friend who was a hairdresser who used to do Reiki, and she was doing a Reiki treatment on me, and I realized I was like relaxing and problem solving when she was doing that. And then I went to South Carolina on a trip, and I bought a book on Reiki. And that night, when after I had been reading that book, I had another visitation. Another massive spirit came into the room and distinctly said, "You must do this. You need to do this. You've done it before." So those are the kinds of things that happen to me. I get woken up by spirit with messages and lucid dreams, a lot of lucid dreams, and they definitely make themselves known, and then they wake you up so you remember. So there's no peace even while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Well, and that's one of the issues, right? You open up and then they all come at you and you have to learn how to go, no, oi, back off. I need my time. I need personal time, that kind of thing, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, yes. Because I think I'm pretty good at separating it though. When I'm with people, I'm with people. I'm definitely not looking at them or analyzing them. So I'm pretty good at switching it on and off, but I do get bombarded by impressions when I'm in with groups of people. I sometimes can't stay with groups of people too long, or when I come home, I'm just flattened,
I
exhausted.
I actually find groups of people. I love being on stage,
Yeah.
but every time I am, it takes me 3 months to get over it because of all the energy in the room and it's it's exhausting.
It's exhausting, and it's hard not to process other people.
Really hard.
Yeah. I know if I start yawning a lot, I'm processing the other person, or
Yeah.
spirit is trying to talk to me.
Yeah, yeah. I've picked that up. Anyway, you did a reading for me the other day. How was that?
That was fascinating. And Normally, I like people to ask me questions so I can hone in and get specific, but you weren't
You're
too
gonna
keen on
you're
that.
gonna tell you're gonna tell me off now, aren't you? She was a bit.
It
She's
was
like, "Come on,
fascinating
ask
to
me a
read
question."
you. It was fascinating to read you, Mark, because the first thing I noticed was like the sea of spirit guides behind you. I mean, there were so many that you couldn't count them. This is like an ocean, an infinite amount of spirit guides. And then you were flanked left and right by two massive protectors
Right.
who looked like, I think it was Batman. I would think I was trying to refer to. They both looked a bit like Batman, but they were fiercely. They were dark in dark colors, but fiercely protective. And I guess that's what you need because of what you share. You need that protection.
I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah, yeah.
This it's
Um,
been it's been nuts. I mean, I was talking to somebody, but people have no idea the amount of crap that goes on the 23 hours a day I'm not on here.
well, well. And then I
But
remember the other thing I was shown about you was that you have this fantastic ability to perceive information, read through the between the lines, hear between the lines, see between the lines. You're just really fast at it, like a really fast browser.
mm,
um, and I think that's what enables you to do what you do. That's how you process so much stuff so quickly. It's like a gift that was given to you.
yeah, it also makes it a bit difficult sometimes because I can't. I've got to slow it all down sometimes, and and I'm quite. I've got quite a what's the word? I'm quite impatient. So, in fact, I'll reword. I'm very impatient. So it's like I love doing it online because I don't have to answer everybody's questions live. But when I was teaching internet marketing before all of this, I'd have rooms full of people, and then I'd actually get pissed off with them if they were interrupting me because they weren't they couldn't keep up with me, and I have to slow it down, and it'd be too obvious that I was annoyed with them. But no, it is a privilege and to do this stuff, and I just want to help as many people as possible. That's why I've got you on here because I think you've got the ability to help a lot of people, and that's why I talked about this kind of while you were talking. I went and fetched the book that I was talking about earlier because I just forgot. Have you ever seen this book? The
I can't really see it. What does it say?
the Encyclopedia of Ailments and Diseases.
Um,
How to
Actually, I think my friend Angela has that. Our
yeah,
mutual friend. Hmm.
how to heal the conflicted feelings, emotions, and thoughts at the root of illness. Jacques Martel. I'm going to do a live show I think next week and just ask people to come on and talk about their ailments, and then I'll look them up and read them out because it's absolutely brilliant and
It's always spot on.
it's so spot on. It's crackers.
Mm,
And and I've just bought 2 copies for the Healing Centre to leave in reception so people can have a look themselves because they every time I read one out to people they go, "Oh my god, that's me." I'm like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
it's like scary accurate.
yeah," but as I was saying, sometimes it's great to find someone like you. Firstly, because you're lovely and you're amazing. You're totally genuine and you are connected. And immediately, we got on, and I knew why Celine introduced us because whatever you're doing in life, it's fantastic to have somebody that you can trust to give you more of an insight, especially when there's things that are stuck. I mean, there was something I don't want to share on air that we talked about where
Mhm.
there was a stuck situation and quite not a nice situation. And by the way, that resolved within 48
Wow,
hours.
wow,
Beautiful.
awesome,
Yeah. I mean,
fantastic.
beautiful. But I couldn't,
Hmm.
it's too personal to share on here. But
Yeah, but can I just interject there, Mark? Do you
mm,
find that when you just look at the problem, you just stop and take a moment and just look at the problem from all angles, it starts to dissolve.
yeah. Well, that's just back to the thing that you said about us being busy, 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 doing exams and da da da. And then we got life, and then we got the bills, and then we got the mortgage, and then we got all this stuff, and years just fly by, and
Yeah.
you haven't actually looked at yourself at all.
Mm.
And it's taken that time to do that, and sometimes an hour with you it was just brilliant for me.
Oh,
Brilliant. And loads of other things came up afterwards.
wow.
Should have told you this before we started recording, but
Yeah.
you know, and that's really, and I'm really grateful for that. But let's just pull up. I want to talk to you about lots of things, but I just want to pull up your
All right.
just your site just to show people how you describe yourself. Look, I'm a medical intuitive. That's interesting. When did you come up with that phrase?
One of my teachers taught medical intuition, but I didn't study it with her. I became one through all that I had studied and how much I had worked with people. So, as I said before, the more you do this work, the more that's given to you. So,
Mm.
when someone's telling me their medical issue, like you, Mark, I'm hearing between the lines. I'm often hearing what they're not saying. So I'm hearing the origin of the problem, what was the cause, who were the characters involved, and I'm being given all that as they're talking. And it's a collaboration between me and spirit. So I'm not this amazing medical person. Didn't actually go to medical school, although I've had a lot of training. But it's given to me by spirit. I feel like I'm given like a spiritual flashlight. So when someone asks me what's going on here, I'm given the flashlight to shine the light on it, to illuminate it.
So, if I asked you to tap in now about this conversation, could you get an insight that would be interesting for us to discuss, or is that not the right?
Well, let's give it a try. I feel comfortable enough with you to do that.
So, are you waiting for a question?
Yeah.
This is what she did on the thing. She was like, "You got to ask a question." I was like, "I haven't got any."
That's how I work.
I said, "I was hoping, as a psychic, you'd be able to tell me what to ask you."
Trickster.
Well, I mean, would it be all right to ask you about what's going, world events?
Yeah, you can give me a try. Now, I'm not as well up as you are, Mark, because I don't have time to follow all that. And I'm so glad I've connected with you, because I can listen to you and then I can make my own mind up. But if you ask me a question, and usually I'm given the insight.
Oh, so many questions. Um, well, let me ask you a general question about, because everybody watching this is desperate to know about the future. So, um, what kind, have you got any insights for how 2026 is going to pan out for the world? I know that's a very big, broad question, but let's try it. And if it's, it's not really in your remit, but I thought I'd ask you anyway.
Okay. I always get the word crumbling,
Mm.
falling apart. I'm being shown buildings, but that's, I feel, a symbol for government. Boring looking buildings that look oppressive and depressing to me, falling apart, crumbling, old regimes being exposed. There could be quite a lot of drama with that. There could be frightening things being shown on television, people being hauled out of offices and positions, handcuffed. A lot of drama, a lot of endings, and slow, gradual beginnings. There's going to be a lot of flux up and down. I feel like we won't know whether we're coming or going. There'll be a sense of loss of stability and a sort of a WTF is going on moments, but it's kind of going to be slow, Mark. So slow, gradual stability, awakening, um, catharsis in a way, and rebuilding from the ground up, institutions rather, that know how to govern and lead. And then when I finished there, I heard earthquakes.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was shown that before. I was shown under the sea earthquakes. I used to be in a channeling group, but I was actually shown too much, and it becomes overwhelming for me, especially when it involves loss of life of children. I find it hard to cope with. So I
Well,
withdrew from that.
no, that is. I
Mm.
mean, I mentioned this earlier, but when I was making the video yesterday about the Epstein files, I was like, I don't want to mention everything I know on YouTube because there could be kids listening, and not every. It's I've known this stuff for years. I can hold for some reason I can hold that information. I don't know why. I mean, I'm horrified by it, but I for some reason I can hold it and continue. But I've learned
Yeah,
the hard way that not everybody can, and not everybody's supposed to. But
yeah,
what hit me yesterday was that I suddenly felt massive compassion for all the people that have not heard of this stuff, and they're being exposed to it now. It's all over the national papers, international papers, stuff about the royal family that's going to break their world. And I suddenly felt them, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. When I thought all this
yeah.
stuff was going to come out, I thought I'd be dancing in the streets and going, "Hey, I told you so." And it's not like that at all. It's the complete opposite. I've been taken by surprise by that, actually.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of grief. It's just like I was shown that we won't know whether we're coming or going. And you mentioned the royal family there, and I had a psychic friend who just adored the Queen. She
Mm.
just adored her, and she couldn't see what I could see. And it kind of made me sad, not so much sad for her, but it was like you don't want to burst anyone's bubble either. You don't want to ruin their life because everybody needs something to hold on to, some glimmer of hope. Like Hello magazine for women is a sort of a glimmer of hope and escapism. You
Well,
don't want to take all the good happy stuff away either.
I'd argue against that. Hello magazine is a thing that makes everybody feel inferior,
Yeah,
and
I
they're
like
like,
the recipes at the back though.
oh, yeah, yeah. You see, you get the bit you like.
Yeah.
That is the thing. I mean, I spent a long time trying to burst everybody's bubble, and upsetting lots of people. And there's just no need to do it anymore because I've learned that everybody comes to it when they're ready.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm actually given a lot of lucid dreams around that where I'll be in some kind of situation where we're going to crash or something. I'll be in an airplane or a train and we're about to crash, and there'll be somebody to my left side, and I'll be like, hey, wake up. And they're oblivious and they don't want to know, they don't want to be woken up. So I'm being told, you can't, and to look after yourself and your loved ones and the people you care about, you can't awaken everybody, and not everyone is meant to awaken.
I know that's the tough one, but I think that's why it's taken so long because most of us come to that conclusion ourselves. We had to you have to come to that conclusion yourself, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. And I think everyone's playing a role, really. They're going to be the people who don't awaken will stay in that old psyche, let's say, and the people who awaken will move forward into the new conditions, the new governments, the new way of being.
Talking of waking up, when did you realize the world wasn't what we thought it was? When did you? I'm being careful with my words here, but when did it start to reveal itself to you?
Um, 9/11, I thought was very strange. And when George Bush Jr. was in power, I couldn't look at the man.
Mm,
I felt something very off. I think before that I had been quite innocent. Um, Innocence has maybe even been a problem for me. But
but it kind of protects you as well, doesn't it? Innocence.
yeah, and it allows you to love others and not be judging. But yeah, I knew he was off. I knew it was very scripted. He couldn't hide his lies, basically.
Mm.
And then when it came to COVID, that time,
The thing.
um, that thing, that time period, I watched the news for about 5 days, and then I realized it was a simulation. And like, this is rubbish. This is off. And I started working out in my garage at exactly the same time that the news would come on because my husband was sitting glued to it. So I was like, I'm not listening to any of this. I'm living in my own reality. And so I'd go out and do something good for myself.
And where were you in America or Ireland then?
I was in Ireland. I was in Ireland for part of that period. But then in 21, we moved here to Florida.
Was that to get away from Ireland, or was it because you just love it there and you wanted to go there?
It was because one of our children needed different circumstances for her education.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't left the old country because you fell out with it. It's just that there's things,
No,
yeah, you've got feet in both camps, haven't you?
I really do. Both my parents are gone now, so I don't really have a reason to visit. My mother-in-law is still there, all right, but I also run retreats now in Westport once a year. But I
Oh,
absolutely, yes,
yes, you do, don't you?
I do. I do. I adore the land of Ireland. So I
Well,
think I'm probably part Druid, like yourself. But I connect with the land. I really miss the trees. I miss the moss and the Irish trees. I miss Cool Park in County Galway. I don't really miss the ocean, but it's different there. I miss the mountains, but I do really connect with the land. It sort of feeds me. It gives back to me. It's the way I decompress.
yeah. Well, I was having that conversation this morning actually about the land, and it's very funny how I feel like this land called me before I even knew I had any Irish roots.
Oh,
It's really well. It was around the same time, and I came to. I think my first trip to Ireland was to visit Connemara.
yeah.
And oh my god! And I drove over from Dublin. This is before the EU built the posh roads. The
Mm,
road was hilarious. It was brilliant. It was like it was a different. It was a different world. It was a
yeah.
completely different world, and it was brilliant. I loved it. And we drove across the country, went to Connemara, had an amazing time. And I had this moment when I was leaving Connemara to drive back to Dublin to get the plane back to England, and I literally had to stop the car and get out and look back on the land with tears in my eyes, and I
Mm,
couldn't understand what was going on.
mm,
I was like, "Why am I feeling like this?" And I had no idea what Ireland had in store for me, none at all.
mm.
I'm tearing up now thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it was calling you home.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's a few people that wish I wasn't here, but
Yeah, but they're the very ones who need you, Mark.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, yeah. It's part of the whole awakening thing. But we did drive through Connemara. First we went to the Burren and then we drove through Connemara on the way to Westport. And I hadn't been in Connemara for quite a while. I felt like I was in a mirage. It's so otherworldly. It's incredible.
It
You
really is.
you can't even really describe it. You have to experience it.
It's like another dimension.
Yeah. I think even though I haven't been to Iceland, I feel like it must be quite similar.
Yeah, Iceland's on my list as well. I want to go there.
Mm.
Um, and so anyway, the druidic connection. You said I was a druid as well.
Yeah,
You got that from the reading, didn't you?
I did, and that's one of the reasons why you're in Ireland. It's one of the reasons you're in Ireland. The other was I felt that Ireland needs a strong masculine, because there's still oppression going on. There's still deception going on. I mean, I think it's kind of getting worse at the moment until it's all revealed. But it's almost like, I feel like we're put in places almost like a peg, like you're putting a peg holder. It's like, well, Mark has to be here because that's needed. And we'll send Elaine off somewhere else. And Celine then is down in Galway. So it's like you need these pegs,
Yeah.
these people, pillars who are holding space and holding energy for all these things to evolve. Does that make sense?
Well, actually, I've been describing it that way on my channel for quite a few years because it's like where I described us as points of light
Mm,
across the world. I'm not going to say around the world, I'll say across the world.
yeah,
And each one of those points of light, whether they know it or not, have been holding consciousness at a certain level to pull everybody else up.
that's exactly it.
But
On
but
on grid lines. Go ahead.
in a non-ego way. It's not like, oh, I'm more
Yeah.
important than you. It's just like that's my job. I'm doing that, and then I'm
Yeah.
doing this, and that's why I think these files have just been released. I don't want to go into what's in the files and what that's about, but what are you? Because that's hard for people, but there is a reason why they've just been released. There is a reason. It's part of a strategy. I think it's part of God's plan. But what do you get about the files?
Oh, that's a deep one. And I have this, like, the moment you mentioned the word, I got this feeling of disgust in my stomach. And it's almost phase one of the crumbling of the revelation of what has gone on behind the scenes. And when people hear about this and see it for themselves, the trust will be gone and there will be dismay at what has been hidden actually in plain sight. And if it will lead to that point of rebellion, we don't want these elected officials. They've got to go. We need a clean slate. But there's going to be horror. There's going to be so much grief, pain, shame as well, because people have been deceived and they'll be horrified that they have elected people who could do that kind of thing. And it's not just people who are elected, it's also, of course, the Hollywood people who they may have looked up to or admired or enjoyed their entertainment. But when they know the truth, there's going to be anger, there's going to be despair. So the world is going to go through quite a lot of turmoil this year. It's coming. I think February is going to be very tumultuous.
It's February the 1st today.
Yeah, happy St. Bridget's Day.
It is St. Bridget's Day. Oh, she's interesting to talk about because
Yeah,
there's two Bridgets, isn't there? There's the
it
Druidic
is.
one and then the Christian one. And
Yes,
they get merged into one, don't they? Sometimes.
they do. They do.
There's a garden down near Galway, isn't there? St. Bridget's Garden. Is it
Oh, yeah,
Galway?
there is. Yeah, that's a lovely little place to visit. I
It's
went there when the
beautiful.
children were small. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there once. Well, I was
Mhm.
in the cafe this morning, and there was St. Bridget's cross behind the window, which is like made. That's what's that made of? It's like to do.
Rushes.
It's
Rushes
rushes.
or
That's what it is.
reeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they normally go over the door in the corner of the room, don't they, or somewhere
Yeah, they're
like
probably used for protection.
protection? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pleased to see that this morning. It's
I
nice.
think it's used as a reminder as well. Something, oh, your guests will be writing in. I think it's something to do with staying humble and staying connected. Yeah,
But my subscribers are used to writing comments. Usually they say, "You got that wrong, Mark," because I do get things wrong, but they're just facts. Who cares?
that's okay.
Um, well, they're not facts necessarily; they're just stuff. But the um, the website that if any of you guys watching want to, I highly recommend you do get a reading with Elaine. It's ElaineMolloy.com. And do you want to tell us a bit about this retreat you do in Westport, Elaine?
Yeah, so the retreat actually came about because my mother died in 2024, and after she died, my sister and I went to Westport to rest, to recover, and then my brother joined us, and we stayed at a lovely hotel. And I mean, that hotel is very special. The food is wonderful and the staff treat you like you're actually family. And then we went off. I'd always wanted to go to Achill, but I never got there, probably because I was busy being a mother. And we went on a day trip to Achill, and I just kind of fell in love with the place. I loved Keem Bay. I love the deserted village. When I take people there, we do a connection to the land. And the last retreat I took there, we had I had my guests channel about the deserted village, and we could feel that there were lost souls there who needed to be released because they had been forced out, in some cases forced out of those cottages, and their land and their cottages taken away. And we were also channeled about Atlantis, and I do feel like Ireland was part of Atlantis, or parts of Ireland were part of Atlantis. So it's just really, it's so raw and rugged, no more than Connemara, and just, I don't know, the land is so alive there. It's a place you have to go to experience. And not only Achill, the places around like Silver Strand and Crowpatrick, people love to go up there. And then all the Clew Bay, the islands, an island for every day of the year. That's what they say. I don't think there are, but even there's one called Peace Island, and there's one that was owned by one of the Beatles. So we went out onto Clew Bay into a boat, but it's a really beautiful place to relax. And we mix that. My colleague Vera Korjala, who's from Finland, she does somatic healing, which is getting you into your body to help you release your issues, help you release those emotions that are causing the illness. And she does yoga, and I do my channeling, my intuitive guidance and messages. And it's all sort of mixed together to help you see Ireland and help you relax, release, and let go.
Well, next time you do that retreat, when is it? August?
Uh, the one coming up in Ireland is October, early October.
Well, you got to do a day trip for everybody to come down to our place.
I would love to do that.
So I'm showing this page now. It's verawellness.com/island-retreat-2026. But
Hmm.
that's the house. Is that the house in Westport?
Yeah, yeah, they're going to close that now because they have to do $1 million repairs
Yeah,
on
but
it.
hang on. Did you know that house is an exact replica of the house that was next to Lock Key in Boyle that got burnt down?
No, I did not know that. Wow.
Exact replica. Same architect, same design, everything.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful house, beautiful location.
this is it in Westport. Westport's an amazing town as well because it's one of the few towns in Ireland that was actually planned out. So it's got this incredible. It's quite English actually, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
it's got a
design of it,
lovely layout and beautiful shops and restaurants. Very nice place to stay. Very pretty.
very pretty. There's Celine. Can you see
Yeah.
her? Yeah,
Yes, that's her testimonial.
she's great for the testimonial. Celine, she's
She's
brilliant.
great. Great speaker.
She's a great speaker. This is a good retreat. This looks good. And there you are.
Yeah. That's Cool Park. That
And
photo.
is that Vera?
That's Vera. Yeah.
Vera, sorry, Vera.
Yeah. She's okay with that.
Somatic. I might go and see her because I like yes, somatic stuff is good stuff. That's good.
It's good
I'll leave
stuff.
the link below to that. You'll probably be full now, if you're not already.
Wonderful.
But that's terrific that you're coming back. And when you do come back, me and you should go and visit some sites, ancient sites. Have you ever been up Carrickeel?
Uh, my family walked up there, but I bowed out and stayed and had a cup of coffee in a cafe.
Really?
But they walked up there. Yeah.
Well, that is somewhere that I will take. I'll make you go up.
All right. I'll start training for it.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's
All right.
but it's very powerful. And the architect, not the architecture, but the megalithic sites here are. I saw the book the other day, and I knew it. I said I'd get it down because I've been looking for it. This is a book. This is a book you should read before you come. Pie in the Sky,
Okay.
which is an amazing book. Michael Poinder, A Revelation of the Ancient Celtic Wisdom Tradition. Pi,
Beautiful.
Pi, as in 3.14.
And is that dolmen? Is that down in the Burren?
I'm not sure which one that is. I'll have to have a look.
Pulnabrún, I think it's called, because we took our
Normally,
group to that, and I had an experience with it when I took my family there. It felt like a portal.
well, I think they are portals. I mean, the
Yeah.
other name for them is portal tombs, isn't it?
Yes, it
I mean,
is. Yeah.
they're
And
called
I could
dolmens.
feel that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they actually the clue's in the name. It's always in the name.
Yeah.
Portal tombs. What are they then? Well, they're tombs. Well, they must be
They're they
portals
for.
as well. But this is the best book I've read. I haven't finished it all, but it's got deeper information about all of the stuff in the land. That place, I think I've been to that one. They're so amazing. The country is packed. I don't know where that is, but I just
Yeah.
recognise it.
Mm-hmm.
I think is that the one in Donegal. So much. I mean, this is such a rich land.
Yeah.
It's so rich, and I do talk about this, and I've had amazing interactions with people who've taken me to places, and I've just had these amazing experiences where you do this connection with the land gets stronger and stronger and stronger for me. But
Mm-hmm.
what is it you think is the thing about this particular piece of land, and why?
That's a really great question. It feels like it's the motherland or something like that. It's like it holds you and it nurtures you, and um this is coming from somewhere else. It takes away your grief and your pain, and it just wants to love you. It's it's the richest, most beautiful, expansive country I've been in, really, even though I've been in lots of countries, and it feels like home. It feels like Mother Earth. That's what it is. It's like the pulsing of Mother Earth is in Ireland. And it's like she just wants to love you, but she also wants to be loved. It's reciprocal arrangement. So don't trample her. Don't leave your litter, your rubbish. Honor her. I'm not saying this to you, Mark, but
Oh, I know.
it's reciprocal. Yeah, she just wants to love you and nurture you and make you feel good. And she just wants that respect and honor back. It's a mystical land. It's hard to put in words really what Ireland is, but everybody should go there. Everybody should go to Ireland. It's like coming home.
It is, and you need to spend a bit of time here. Don't just come here for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Um, get out and about, because it. And how do you think the Satanists got such a grip of this place?
I mean, you ask questions that are like visceral.
Mm-hmm.
I went gulp when you asked that.
I know.
How did they get such a grip? I don't know. Does it go back to the time of the British seizing the land? And I think maybe it's something to do with pulling the. Are we innocent as people? You'd know this because you're British, so you would have a little perspective on it. But it's almost like we are innocent and we expect the best from people, and we don't expect the skullduggery or the deception. Um, yeah, we expect the best from everybody, so it's easy to fool us. And we come from people will get mad when they hear me say that, and it's easy to fool us, but we come from hundreds, thousands of years of suppression and
Well,
being taken from.
that's what's happened because
Mm,
of the thing that you just said. So, the suppression, I think, is to do with the land and the spiritual power of this place. And they knew that long ago. I mean, it's like the castle in the lake here is the only castle without any strategic importance at all that had an entire army sent by King John to take it, because he knew something about it.
mm-hmm.
He knew about the power of what's underneath it. In my opinion, people have different views on this, but
They
you know,
understand the vortexes. Is that what you're saying? They
the
understand the power of the
portals,
land.
the portals, the ley lines, the dragons, the land, the energy. They, the royal families all the way back. They know this. They keep it secret, and then they have to grab it. Like that house in Westport. I bet that spot where that house in Westport is on is a very
Mm.
powerful spot.
Yeah, it probably is. I didn't feel it there, but I felt it in the burn. I felt that vortex in the burn. It's like that vortex will almost take your car
Yeah, yeah,
and start driving it. It's like, what's going on? I seem to have lost control of my car. I'm still on the road, but there's another force
yeah. It's called
driving it.
it's called Guinness.
No, it's not.
No, I'm joking.
That's the last thing I drink. But sorry now for Guinness fans. But and when you stand on the burn, you can feel all that energy underneath, and isn't it? It's filled with caves, underground caves.
The whole country
Um,
is.
the whole country, you can, if you can tune in, you can feel the vibration, the pulsing of the land.
Well, you
They do
do.
know. They know the esoteric sciences.
Yeah, they do. Of course they do. And they block
Yeah.
it and they harness it. And then, the big, getting rid of all the strong fighting men from this country was top of their list because they didn't want the rebellion. That's why
Mhm.
during the 1914, 15, they went out to the farms, grabbed the young farm boys and put them on the front line. Horrific things done to the Irish.
Yeah, and things like the starvation and taking away our wealth and keep you on your knees to suppress you.
This should be one of the richest countries on earth. I think this
Yeah,
place is full of gold and copper and well, copper. I don't know if that's, but full of minerals, full of oil. Probably the fish. I mean, the,
yeah.
the, the fish they all got taken away.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Overfished. And apparently there's oil off the north coast
Hmm.
near that rock that I think that is owned by Britain.
Owned by Britain.
Yeah, there's like some rock, big
Well,
rock that's off the coast, the northern coast, and they have control of it.
Britain's owned this country all the way through anyway. Well, the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
They just use the countries as cover stories for their wars and their economic. It's really interesting, and we haven't got time to go. We could talk about it for hours, but maybe we should. Maybe we should have a roundtable, get a bunch of other people.
Be
I
great.
love all these different perspectives. Thomas Sheridan. Do you ever watch Thomas?
No.
You'd enjoy Thomas. He's got amazing. He's a druid. He's a Luciferian as well. But don't be frightened by that. Amazing. He really knows his stuff.
Okay.
Um, so many great minds. This is the land of saints and scholars, or it was. You see, this is like why. Sorry, we're going on about Ireland now. Should be talking about your work, but it's all connected. Because have you ever used these gifts to look back in time?
Only when needed. So not for historical purposes, only if somebody needs like a past life regression or to resolve something in a past life. So no, I haven't. And actually I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it?
It's a good idea.
Hmm. Maybe we'll do another show about that later. But
Hmm.
when people come to you for readings, what kind of people do you normally help? Is it normally like physical ailments, emotional ailments? People should have a,
Yeah.
unlike me, they should have a list of questions to come to you with, right?
uh, ideally they should, but normally they're stuck on something. They're stuck. They could be stuck in a relationship that's not working, and maybe they can't see they're part of it. They could be stuck in a career or lost, not knowing their life's purpose. Often it's health issues. Um, Definitely emotional. I dig into the emotions and the beliefs that are held in the psyche to see, it's usually just trapped energy, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I do run these little sessions I call Tea with Elaine.
I was
So
about I was about to say cup on tea came into my head. We've got to talk about that.
Ponte.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came to the idea because, we lost community during that period of time we mentioned earlier that begins with C. And I noticed that Americans in general have very rushed lives. And I know a lot of older Americans here because I go to the Center for Spiritual Living, and there's a lot of older people there, and they miss that community. It can be a lonely phase of life. So I introduce sessions where I give them the berries tea, as we mentioned. I actually bake fresh baked scones. I whip up the jam. I don't buy any of this rubbish from the store, that comes in a can. That's sacrilegious to me. And I have the jam and I serve them all that. And it's nice to do that too, to serve somebody. It makes them feel special. And then I do the group readings. So I forget what you asked there, Mark. I feel like I've gone off track.
No, that's really good because I was going to talk about the
Mm,
cup on tea because
yeah.
it, as a blow-in to Ireland, the change is phenomenal. I mean, when I first came here, you couldn't walk 5 feet without stopping and having a half-hour conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
It rarely happens now.
Yeah, and Ireland for me has changed too. It was more about community, earlier on in my earlier years, but now the people don't tend to know each other as much. And it changes from one spot to the other. So, for example, if I go for a walk in Gort, or where I say Cool Park, people will stop and talk to you. Not everybody. Some people will greet you and some people will not. But if I go for a walk in, say, Oranmore or Galway, people don't make eye contact or say hello or stop for a chat. So it depends on if you're in a town or a village. But now in Galway as well, I feel like it's strange to me because people don't seem to engage or know each other anymore. Times have changed, and of course, the phone has changed everything. And I was mentioning that too before I did a tea with Elaine yesterday at somebody's wellness spa, and we were sitting in the waiting room, and people don't engage with each other anymore because they have their phones. Whereas before you would have gone, "Hi, how are you? Nice day," and you'd have a chat. But it's creating a lot of disconnection, isn't it?
It really has. And there will be people watching this from Florida. Do you want to tell them where the cup of tea thing is that you do in person?
I do that in Florida. So I live in St. Augustine in Florida, and I do them around the place. I go wherever I'm invited. But I also wanted to mention to you, Mark, I forgot to mention this. We were talking about people being like a peg and placed in a different part of the world. St. Augustine has a fort that is on a ley line. It's like a star shaped fort. It's
A
called El
star fort.
Castillo.
It's a star
Yeah.
fort. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called El Castillo de San Marco. And then that is on the same line, ley line, to the Giza Plateau in Egypt. And so there are a lot of healers here.
Well, let me just show it.
We're meant to be. We're
Of
meant
course.
to be here.
Well, it's funny. I talk about Sarasota because I don't even know how I ended up there, but that's where I got some of my biggest spiritual lessons. So that's the St. Augustine Star Fort.
Yeah. Doesn't it look cool from up above?
Yeah, but it's very similar to the one in Kinsale.
Yes.
In Cork, because these star forts are everywhere. This is all part of the old empire, the old world. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we could talk for ages, but I'm going to have a cup of tea myself. I was going to talk about Deepak Chopra, but should I tell you what about him? Shall I just show you this?
Yeah, go on.
Because if you've got the stomach for it, in fact, you don't need the stomach for this. It's just interesting because you may or may not know that sorry, my phone is going off.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it off. I turned it on again in case my daughter rang and then somebody else rang. If you guys watching don't know how to do this, you might find this useful. So you go to a website, justice.gov/Epstein, and then you type in a word. In this case, I've typed in Deepak, and there are 4,203 results for Deepak. Let's type in Chopra. And I'm saying nothing. There are 3,354 results with Deepak Chopra's name in the... Will you go away? Sorry. Thought I turned it off.
Goes on.
For those of you interested, that's how you can go and search the files yourself and have a look. See if you find anything. Anyway, Elaine, it's lovely to speak to you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's really an honor to speak to you. And I just love your natural style. And you've become a lifeline for me here in Florida. I listen to you whenever I can when I go on my walks. And I have to say, you do make me laugh.
Well, we do our best. We do our best. Well, see, I'm turning Irish by the day, but some people, no, go back to England. It's been so I just saw a weird light there. I'm always on the lookout for UFOs. There was a weird. I really appreciate the reading you gave me the other day. I'll talk to you more after the show. And you guys watching, if you need any help with anything, go and get a cup of tea with Elaine. See you later, guys. Well, that's a fluoride question, but we'll talk about that after as well. See you later. Thanks, Elaine.